super embassy in the UK next week. Now, for this hour, we start with Indonesia. Indonesia is facing worsening humanitarian disaster on Sumatra Island. The death toll from floods and landslides have now climbed to 604 people, and 464 people are still missing, according to the National Disaster Agency. Search and rescue teams are racing across 3 provinces, while about 570,000 residents have been displaced. Roads are buried or washed out and communications are down, forcing aid to be flown in. North Sumatra is the hardest hit, with homes crushed by mud and entire villages cut off. A vital route through Aden coating in North Tapanuli has been severed, blocking access to Sibolga, a port city badly damaged by days of relentless rain. Survivors say they have lost everything and urgently need food, water, and medicine. President Prabowo says relief efforts are at full force and stresses that Indonesia must strengthen climate resilience and local disaster preparedness. Indonesia is facing a worsening humanitarian disaster on Sumatra Island. The death toll from the floods and landslides have climbed to 604 people, and 464 people are still missing, according to the National Disaster Agency. Search and rescue teams are racing across 3 provinces, where about 570,000 residents have been displaced. Roads are buried or washed out and communications are down, forcing aid to be flown in. Now, for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Vibhuti Rai. He's an environmentalist, joins us live from Lucknow, India. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, given the scale of flooding and landslides in Sumatra in Southeast Asia, now what underlying environmental and land use factors, how do you think these have led to or may have intensified the impact of this disaster?
Well, there are several reasons that I see. The Sumatra has many hilly terrains. At the same time, their infrastructure is not as good as it should be. And there's a lot of mudslides already. They were happening in the past, but the government should have made infrastructure so that once the rains of that magnitude were supposed to happen, and that can be done with the help of satellite data, it was possible to at least save many of these calamities, many people who died, because these rains have created weak zones in an already stretched environment or geologically unstable system there. So the rains have actually created the very large scale mudslide, and because most of the villages and habitation areas were very close to these hilly terrain, they have all been infested with not only floods but at the same time with the rain with the landslide. So I think there are more geological reasons for that, and for future, I think the government of Indonesia and maybe many other countries who are part of the network, they should put in inputs for making this area resilient to rainfall led landslides.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Rai, please stay with us as we have a breaking news to take. We'll come back to you. Now, breaking news, Indonesia is facing an escalating disaster on Sumatra Island. The National Disaster Agency now says the death toll from last week's floods and landslides has climbed to 712 people. More than 500 people are still missing, and the number of those affected has surged to around 1.1 million people across 3 provinces. Heavy rain has washed out roads and widespread power outages are hampering rescue efforts as emergency teams continue searching for survivors. Authorities warn that the toll could rise further as access to remote areas slowly reopens. Now for this discussion, we welcome back Sir Vibhuti Rai. He's an environmentalist, joins us live from Lucknow, India. Thank you very much, Sir Rai, for staying with us.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think is government's responsibility? What specific policy or community level measures should government prioritize to reduce the risk of such catastrophic events?
I think it's both government and people's participation, and maybe corporate world should come in, and at least those areas which are prone to such disasters in the past and maybe this time, the area should have been properly mapped, and on the basis of this mapping, how in case of certain level of rainfall or storm, that can make the area very susceptible to
Here we may have lost connection with Mr. Vibhuti Rai. He joined us as an environmentalist from Lucknow. With that, I would like to thank Mr. Rai. Now we move the focus to Europe. Residents and former